We've got a bunch of codes for these to give away as it is a sponsored video. We've got a mixture of new releases as well as some existing games. And also we're going to look at some of their DLCs that are on sale to celebrate Qubic's 20th anniversary. You can get these discounts if you own one of the games on screen, and there's full details on the website. There'll be a link in the description. As always, you might find a few little gems in here, and at these prices, they're well worth considering. So what are they? Well, let's find out. So let's start off with the new releases then. First up, they want us to talk about a game called Life Bubble, which I did actually mention in an advert the other day. This looks quite interesting. Basically, you go out, gather resources, collect up different materials, and you gradually increase the size of your bubble, which is your sphere of influence within these different environments. I think they're different planets. You can then use the cash that you make to buy different character upgrades, fight off the enemies, and completing missions on those planets earns you more money that you can continue that loop with. This one has a 50% discount at the moment, but can go down to the prices you see on screen if you own one of the games we mentioned.
Another new release then is Baking Time. This sees you in charge of a baker's, and as well as baking the goods themselves and putting them on display, you'll also need to hire staff and make sure your customers are satisfied with the stock you have on offer. There are over 30 different pastries for you to cook, or bake I suppose I should say. You can upgrade your character to make them faster and more efficient, and you can also play the game in local co-op. Again, the sale prices mentioned and shown at the bottom of the screen apply if you do own one of those previous games.
The final new release then is a game called My Horse Stories that I think my daughter would certainly enjoy. It comes out on the 3rd of May, and I think by the looks of it, it's essentially a Tamagotchi with a horse. You're looking after it, feeding it, training it up, taking part in competitions, and then upgrading your farm to further facilitate your success. There's also a leaderboard in here, and it says, do farm chores, but if you're too lazy, too bad, Grams won't let you off easy. I don't know what that means, Glenn. I've got to be honest with you. I don't know what that means, but I want to know.
Just do your chores and you'll never need to know.
That's very true.
Do your chores, you lazy so-and-so.
That's on sale, and you can see the prices at the bottom of the screen. Mana Spark is a very good game. It's been out for a while. This is an old school roguelite where you're trying to run through the stages, defeat the end boss, and then move on. But you build up a hub area, rescue different survivors who will then help you to build up your weapons, get stronger, and make the next run hopefully a little bit easier. Now, Mana Spark did have a DLC actually that added in multiplayer, because that was the one thing that it lacked at the beginning. It's a really good game, and it joins the rest on this big sale.
Then we have a little pick up and play title called Color Road. This basically sees you having to drive down the road with your sphere, and you need to collect the balls that are the same colour as you in order to keep going. If you miss one of the colours, you basically come off the track and it'll be game over. So it's that idea of trying to perfect each run. There are 45 challenges, and you can buy coins within the game through your actions to get extra lives, and it's all about perfecting your reaction times. Once again, prices are on the screen, and owning any of the games we mentioned before will take it down to a very, very low price.
Next, you've got Hole.io, which is basically, as the title suggests, a game a bit like Katamari, where you're trying to consume everything to get larger and larger and have the largest hole, which I can never say without laughing. There are 6 different maps, 13 different animated skins, and two multiplayer modes for up to 4 players in local co-op. Then you've got My Bakery Empire, which is a little bit like Cooking Dash or similar, where you're essentially cooking different things, meeting orders, and trying to bake the tastiest dessert ever. Apparently, that's what the blurb says. What is the tastiest dessert ever?
I like a cherry bakewell.
Ooh.
I do like a cherry bakewell.
That's not a bad shout, but you're wrong.
Oh, that's not my favourite. No, that's not my favourite.
Lemon drizzle cake.
No. Carrot cake is undisputedly the best cake in the world.
Let us know in the comments. You've got to solve this for us, because it's definitely lemon.
Lemon drizzle cake's even better. I prefer a flan.
So yeah, if you fancy helping Lizzie open a cake bakery, then this might be one for you.
Also on sale, we have Mob Control. Here the aim is to watch your mob multiply, grow in that army so that you can strategically deploy them and break through the enemy mobs to reach their base. Again, you can play in local multiplayer, and you can unlock cannons that you can then fire your mobsters with, unlocking more powerful ones to get across those enemy lines quicker.
I need one of those to get across town.
Yeah, especially in rush hour.
Oh, for sure. Then you've got Helix Jump. Now this is actually quite, this type of game I've played in the past, where you're essentially just, it's very precision, trying to make your way through this ever-growing tower. I think you go down here though, right?
Yes.
Dropping down through it, bouncing on different things, trying to get through the gap. and then you unlock different materials, and this one does also feature up to 4-player co-op. There are bosses in there as well, interestingly enough. I don't know how that would work. And you can customize your ball. Next up, we've got Light It Up. You have to jump, flip, slide and swing as a little stick man over 150 different levels. This is like pick up and play, precision platformer. There are different power-ups that will help you get through those stages to help you then unlock more of those levels. And you're trying to avoid falling or touching the spikes. They need to make a game where you have to fall and you need to touch the spikes.
Yeah, that would work.
Well, you know, I'll see you at the top, mate.
Game innovation, that's what I do. Zombie Defense is next, which, as the name implies, is like a tower defense game, including zombies. You'll need to survive a number of waves of the zombie enemies, fortifying and expanding your base, upgrading your weapons, and building turrets to try and take them all out. There's a bonus survival mode too, and an endless game mode if you prefer to go for high scores, and it is another game on this list that involves local co-op.
Then you've got the Excellent Decks. Now this is a really good game. It's like an old school CRPG, kind of side-scrolling perspective, absolutely open world. You can choose the way that you approach the different situations. A really good game that's very well loved by, well, most people that have played it, to be honest. Looking about 10 to 20 hours, so there's a range of completion times there, and there are different endings and things. And it is also voice acted in English and allows you to play in different styles. You can use stealth, open combat, you can try and be a diplomat and talk your way out of situations. It's a really good game. I think some people look at this and kind of get put off by that art style, but yeah, really well worth adding to your collection at this silly price. Definitely an easy pickup.
Yeah, there's a lot more to it because of that choice system, isn't there, than you would initially expect, and you can play it in a few different ways. As you say, it really does change the game. Then we have Johnny Trigger, which is a side-scrolling shooter where you play as the man himself, Johnny Trigger, international man of mystery, I'm sure, as he tries to take on the mafia. His slogan is less talk, more bullets, which does sum up the gameplay really, and there are bits to collect as you go along each level, just to extend that runtime.
Next up, we've got Golf, guys. It says here in the blurb, grab your golf club, check the wind direction and aim well. Glad it said golf club. Whew. This one sees you playing solo or with a group of up to 4 of you through several crazy golf stages, through several golf courses, adjusting the power of your shot and direction. It even includes 3-player split screen, vertically, which I haven't seen before.
Yeah,
there are 15 different maps in here. There's a Zen mode as well if you just want to chill and hit balls. You can upgrade your clubs and balls, which include various funny shapes, funny shaped balls.
we then have Omom Run, which is a game we've mentioned a few times in various sales videos, and it's a racer or a running game where you run away from the camera. That's right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Camera's behind you, and it does remind me of something like Takeshi's Castle. Has that kind of wacky vibe to it in terms of the tracks that you're running on. Did you know that Takeshi, the fella in Takeshi's Castle?
Takeshi, yeah.
Is it Takeshi? My apologies. He was in Battle Royale.
Was he actually?
Yeah.
That's awesome. So Takeshi was actually a bloke?
Yeah.
I didn't realise it was actually a person.
Yeah, it's his name. Obviously his castle. But it's he's in Battle Royale. He's the teacher that's in charge of the island.
Oh, I didn't realise that. I need to watch Battle Royale again now just to see Takeshi.
Yeah, good film.
Yeah, great film. Okay, then we've got a few games which probably aren't our taste, but I've asked my daughter to choose 3 games that would be suitable for kind of her age as a 10-year-old girl. And the first one of those she has chosen is DIY Paper Doll. You can definitely see why I asked her about it. You have to essentially decorate your paper doll with over 100 different items, unlock different fashions and collections so that you can then improve their outfit. She is the expert on this type of stuff, and you've got a young daughter as well. They'd certainly enjoy it, but potentially not our cup of tea.
No, but again, for that very cheap price, if you want to entertain young ones for a while, you could do a lot worse.
And her other choice is acrylic nails. Now I have to say, she's too young for acrylic nails. So I don't know why this is the other choice. But you essentially have to paint the nails of the person to create nice designs for your own nail salon. Now I know nothing about this world. Is that what they do, is it? Come up with new designs and then people come in and they go, oh, what do I want? I want a Pokemon, please.
Probably, yeah, that sounds about right, to be honest. But again, it's the sort of game that my daughter would have played on an iPad at some point in the past. So yeah, to have a Switch version for a cheap price, again, keeps them quiet for
silent.
Silence is golden. So there we go. And finally, for the games, we have ASMR Slicing. Now, talking about silence, if there's something that's slightly better than silence, it's noises that relax you.
It is. Have you watched any ASMR stuff?
No, I've watched videos where people claim it's ASMR, and they're like opening a box
I find it very unusual.
I find it unusual, I must say. Like they, you know, I'm watching it for the unboxing, but they're like, oh, listen to this. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, yeah, crinkle that paper again.
Yeah, bubble wrap. Yes, please.
Pop, pop. There's something called the tingles that
Okay.
apparently only certain people can hear, of course, you know, and that makes your like skin go ooh when you hear certain sounds in certain ways. They all whisper, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Welcome to SwitchUp.
Switch up, mate.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Listen as I open this box of this game I'm about to review. Oh, yeah. That's the good stuff.
In all seriousness though, you'll be cutting multiple colourful objects using unusual blades and listening to those ASMR sounds whilst doing so.
It's also worth noting that a lot of these games have DLC. Things like Mana Spark, the Forgotten Crypts DLC that I was talking about, that's down 50%. And likewise, most of the DLCs are half price at the moment. You've got other great ones like One Strike, Rise of the Dragons, that's half price, and One Strike is a cool game, isn't it?
Yeah, very good game. It's a one-on-one fighter where obviously you get that killing blow in, one strike and you're out. Very much like, is it Bushido Blade, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very similar to that. Very quick to play, but hard to master, you know?
And that game Wrecked also has a DLC called The Forge, which adds in obviously new maps and jumps and hazards and things. Quite a fun game, that.
So there we have it. There are some new releases from Qubic, some of their standard games that are on a big sale, and some DLC to consider if you've or if you feel that you've seen everything certain games have to offer. And don't forget, if you want the full details, do check out their website. There will be a link to it in the description.
Once again, a thanks to Qubic for sponsoring this and giving us some codes to give away. Let us know what tickles your fancy. Have a nice weekend. And as always, for all things Switch all the time, keep it Switch up. Cheers, guys. See ya!